Kentucky Senator Rand Paul spoke Friday in Detroit at the opening of the GOP's newest African American engagement office. It's all part of a national effort by Republicans to appeal to black voters. Kristen Soltis Anderson is vice president at Republican polling firm The Winston Group, and she's here to prove me wrong. Okay, Kristen, I do not see how Republicans win any measurable, important percentage of African American voters. And I think it's probably a waste of time for them to try. Prove me wrong.
So I completely disagree. And the first example I will give is Chris Christie in New Jersey. The eye-popping exit polls that came out after his reelection, where he picked up 1 out of every 5 black voters in the state of New Jersey. Now, 20% doesn't seem like a lot, but compared to how Republicans have been performing in the African-American community, that's astonishingly good. And what helped him get there was showing up. So, Democrats can sort of, laugh off, oh, Rand Paul's going to go get, he gave that speech at Howard. Oh, well, that's not going to win things. And, oh, they're opening up this field office. Well, that's not going to win things. But you know what? One is better than none. And up until this point, Republicans have not had very good outreach into the African-American community. I think anything is better than nothing.
Now, some people have asked me, are you nervous about speaking at Howard? They say, some of the students there, they may be Democrats.
Now, let me push back on you just a little bit, because I remember when Ken Mehlman was the chairman of the Republican National Committee. He came in and said, look, we can't keep getting 5, 6, 7% of the black vote in national presidential elections. We have to your point, show up. He did. They had a very aggressive outreach effort. And yet, I had our great staff look up these numbers. George W. Bush got 11% of the black vote in 2004, which is actually somewhat of a high watermark if you go and look at more recent elections. Obama got 95% of the black vote in 2008. Obama got 93% of the black vote in 2012. Now, I understand first African-American president, but still, even despite showing up, as Ken Mehlman did repeatedly, it didn't change things. What am I missing here? Because it seems to me it's more than just showing up. Isn't it policy, too? Does it need to change on the policy side?
Very much so. You won't get pushback from me on that. That we need to have ideas and substance to talk about that will engage these voters. But I think we have a lot of good opportunities to do that. I think, let's take the issue of education, for instance, where there have been some interesting relationships built between, say, Jeb Bush types and the civil rights community about what do we do about these schools in inner cities that are absolutely failing. And these involve fights that take on, say, teachers' unions, a core part of the Democratic constituency. Now, fighting teachers' unions is not the silver bullet. It's not the only answer. But I do think that by talking about entrepreneurship, by talking about education, that there are opportunities for Republicans to connect ideas to things that will make lives better for people of all races, including African Americans. The challenge is getting folks to do that, getting them to go beyond just, here's why I think President Obama is bad.
Right. Kristen Soltis Anderson, thank you as always for being a good sport.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.